Today's shiur begins at the Mishnah, the lower half of Daf Lamed, 7 lines from the bottom. Before we begin the actual text, we glance at the side. We see a topic heading, which reads as follows: Hanoder miyordei hayam, one who swears, which takes an oath in terms of preventing benefit from yordei hayam, seafarers. Miyoshvei hayabosha, people that live on dry land. Gemara tidoin al eich magdirim elu shemafligim me'ako liyafo. The Gemara will evaluate how we judge, how do we categorize those that travel, though on the sea, but very short distances from Akko to Yafo. These are two seaside cities in Eretz Yisrael. The Mishnah, Hanoder miyordei hayam, one who vows not to benefit from those that are seafarers. Muter biyoshvei hayabosh, he's allowed to benefit from those that live on dry land. Miyoshvei hayabosha, if he vows not to benefit from those that are land dwellers, Osur miyordei hayam, he is not allowed to benefit from the seafarers. Shiur hayam bichlal yoshvei hayabosha, seafarers are considered within the general category of land dwellers. Now there's an expression that follows that is not clear. The Gemara will have to explain what this clause is a reference to. It says, Lo ka'elu shaholchim me'ako li'afo, not like those that travel from Akko to Yafo, to seaside communities in Israel, Elo b'mi shedarko lifrosh, but rather like someone whose practice is to go out to sea at great distances. Rav Popov, Rav Acha Brei, to Rav Ika, Chad Masni Aresha v'Chad Masni Aseifa. One teaches the closing phrase as a comment on the Resha, and one teaches it as a comment on the Seifa. The Resha being the early part of the Mishnah, the Seifa being the latter part of the Mishnah. Fortunately for us, the Gemara spells it all out. Man de toni aresha masni hochi. The one who attaches this final clause to the Resha reads or teaches it as follows: Hanoder miyordei hayam, someone who vows not to benefit from seafarers, muter biyoshvei yabosha. He's allowed to benefit from land dwellers. Ha biyordei adam hayam Ozer. However, from seafarers, no. V'lo ka'elu, the ban that the self-imposed ban does not apply. Ha-hoilchin, we continue at the top of Omid Beis, ha-hoilchin mi'ako li'afo. Though they are sea travelers, the ban does not apply to those that sail from Akko to Yafo. Halin ki yoshvei yabosha ninu. They are like land dwellers. They basically sail along the coast. They're like land dwellers. Elo mimisha darkon lifrosh. When he forswears benefiting from seafarers, he has in mind only those that travel to the high seas. Uman detoni asefo masni hochi, and the version that attaches or explains the closing phrase to the latter part of the Mishnah learns it as follows: Hanodim yoshvei yabosha osur biyordei hayam. One who swears not to benefit from land dwellers, he's not allowed to benefit from seafarers. V'lo bi'elu haholchim me'ako li'afo bilvad. When we say that his vow not to benefit from land dwellers includes Yordei Hayam, it's not just including those that travel along the coast. Elafilu mishadako lifrosh, even those that traveled out to the high seas is included in his vow. Since in the end they all come back to dry land, even those that travel out to the high sea. So his neder not to benefit from the land dwellers will include the high sea sailors as well. The Mishnah. Hanoder miroye hachama osur af besumin. One who swears not to benefit from roe hachama, literally those that see the sun, is preventing himself from benefiting even from the blind. Shalom niskaven zeh, in his statement, I don't want to benefit from roe hachama, his intention is elo lamisha hachama roya oison. Those that are seen by the sun, those upon whom the sun shines, while the sun shines upon the blind as well. Now, how does the Mishnah know that? My taimo midolo komar min haroyin. He didn't vow not to benefit from those that are sighted. Had he used that expression, I vow not to benefit min haroyin, from those that are sighted, I would have understood that he would be able to benefit from the blind. But he didn't use that expression. So now, the expression that he did use, he vows not to benefit from roye achamo, from those upon whom the sun shines. Who's excluded by that vow? The Gemara explains la'afuke dogim v'ubrim, to the exclusion of fish and the unborn fetuses. The Mishnah. Hanoider mishchoyre haroish osur bekarchin ubale sevos, person who vows not to benefit from the literally means the black-headed ones, the ones with black hair. But you're going to see that is a literal translation that really doesn't have any bearing on the point of the vow. So one who vows not to benefit from shchoy rosh is also, he cannot benefit from the bald, nor can he benefit from those that are silver or gray or white-haired either. Umuter benoshim ubiktanim, he is allowed to benefit from women and from minors. She'ein nikroim shchoy harosh elo anoshim. The term shchoy harosh applies only to males. My time, why is he forbidden to benefit from the bald? He spoke about not benefiting from the black-haired. Answer, midelo komar mibale seor. From the fact that he did not, in his vow, say, I don't want to benefit from those that have hair. Had he said, I don't want to benefit, I refuse to benefit, I vow not to benefit from those that have hair, he would have been allowed to benefit from the bald. But he didn't say that. He said, mishchoy harosh. And as the Mishnah says, shchoy harosh is a general term referring to adult males. Umuter benoshim ubiktanim shenikroim shchoy harosh elo anoshim. He's allowed to benefit from women and from the minors. The term shchoy harosh applies only to males. My taimo. Answer. Gemara is asking, why is it that the term shchoy harosh limits you to males and excludes females and the minors? The Gemara explains, Anoshim zimnin de michsu reshayu v'zimnin de miglu reshayu. Males, sometimes their heads are exposed. Michsu means they're covered. Miglu means exposed. Sometimes their heads are covered, and sometimes their heads are exposed. Avol noshim li'oila michsu. Women, their hair is always covered. Uktanim li'oilam miglu. And when it comes to minors, kids, children, their hair is always exposed. According to the Ran, if this person had in mind, let us say, to include kitanim, he would have said that I vow not to benefit from the megule harosh. But he didn't say that. And likewise, with regard to women, had he intended to ban benefit from women, he would have said mi mechuse harosh. Those are the terms that are used to describe women and children. But he didn't use either of those terms. He used the term shchorei harosh. The Rashi has a different angle to this. Rashi says, we'll look at that together in the text of Rashi, Uktanim lo miglu rishayot klomar, iu kinodar, when this fellow took the vow concerning shchorei harosh, adaita digdolim nodar, he had in mind adult males. Vahani, kevan delav gedolim ninu, v'lo nehigi minig gedolim, children, they're not adults, and they don't practice the ways of adults. Lochi lesnu b'chlal gedolim, they're not included in adults. Umuter bohen, and he's therefore allowed to benefit from children. The next Mishnah. On the side, we have a topic heading, Hanoider min. We're going to have two expressions that I'll speak on a very personal level, two very confusing words. They're very, letter-wise, they're very, very similar, but they mean very different things. So one who vows, let us say, not to benefit from hayilodim. Now that word yilodim, mashma kvar noldu, people that have already been born. Hanolodim, that implies mashma osli volate, someone that is not yet born. Now those definitions are going to come under scrutiny when we get into the Gemara. Hanoder, the Mishnah, Hanoder min hayilodim, one who vows not to benefit from those that have already been born, muter benolodim. He's allowed to benefit from those that are yet unborn at the time of the neder, the time of his vow. Min hanolodim, he vows not to benefit from the nolodim, those that are going to be born. Ozer min hayilodim, he's not allowed to benefit from those that have already been born. This needs explanation, but we're going on in the meantime. And now, another clause that is very unclear, Rabbi Meir matir af beyilodim. If you take this literally, Rabbi Meir is saying he's by swearing not to benefit from the nolodim, he says it's mutter for him to benefit even from the yilodim. Well, even from means from everybody then, not only this, but even that. That it can't mean that. V'chachomim oimrim lo niskavein zeh elo b'mi shedarko lehivaled. Someone who vowed not to benefit from the nolodim, his intention is to prohibit himself from mi shedarko lehivaled, those that have already come into the world. If we look in Rashi, v'chachomim omrim, Ozer b'shnehem. Once again, one who is noder from the nolodim, and we're assuming that means those that are have not yet been born. That will include both. The lo niskavein zeh elo mikol mi shedarko livoled. He intends to prohibit himself from anyone whose way is to be born. Chachomim deseifa hainu tanakama. This chachomim is the same as the tanakama that said one who vows not to benefit from nolodim is also from the yilodim as well. Now the Gemara. The Gemara focuses on the Rebbe Meir statement, which we said is hard to understand as we read the Mishnah. Le Rebbe Meir, who said that one who, had vowed not to benefit from the Nolim is mutter even from the Yilodim. So Le Rebbe Meir, v'lo mibaya nolodim, by saying af b'yilodim, are you saying that it goes without saying that he's allowed to benefit from the nolodim? Elo miman also, then from whom is he prohibited? And we're talking about someone who made a vow not to benefit. The Mishnah has been left deliberately terse, and the correct understanding is as follows. Hanoder min hayilodim, one who vows not to benefit from those that have already been born, muter benolodim. He is allowed to benefit from those that have not yet been born at the time of the vow. minha noladim, one who forswears benefiting from the ones that are as yet unborn. Ozer by yilodim, he prohibits himself even from the yilodim. Means everyone would be off limits to him. Rabbi Meir Omer, af hanoder minha noladim, mutter by yilodim, ki hechi denoder minha yilodim, mutter by noladim. All Rabbi Meir is saying is that you go according to what the man said. If he vowed not to benefit from the noladim, from those that have not been born, he's allowed to benefit from those that have already been born. And if he vows not to benefit from the yilodim, those have already been born, so only those are prohibited. He's allowed to benefit from the noladim, those that have not yet been born. Omar le Rav Papa Abaye. The main raw, and here the Gemara focuses on the translation, the meaning of those words, noladim and yilodim. So Rav Papa asks Abaye, L'meimra de noladim de misyaldon mashma. Are you telling me that noladim means those that have not yet been born? Elomeata, well, in the following pasuk, which says, Shnei bonayach hanoladim lecha be'eretz Mitzrayim, hachinami de misyaldon hu. Yankov is speaking to Yosef, referring to his two sons that have already been born in Mitzrayim. Do you mean to say that they are going to be born in the future, but they've already been born? So you see, the word noladim refers to those that have already been born. Ve'elamai dialidu mashma. Are you then saying that noladim means that those that have already been born? Elomeata dichtiv hine ben nolad lebeis David Yoshio shmo hachinami dahave. Here you have the word nolad, and you want me to believe that it means those that someone has already been born. Here the pasuk is describing someone whose grandfather hasn't even been born yet. When this pasuk of Hine ben Nolad lebeis David Yoshio Shmo was stated, it was stated at a point that Yoshio's grandfather Menashe has not yet been born. So you see that the word nolad or noladim cannot refer to those that have already been born. Well, elo mashma hochi umashma hochi. The word noladim can mean both. It can mean already born, can mean that have not yet been born. Uve Nedarim haloch achar loshon b'nei adam. When it comes to the laws of Nedarim, the laws of vows, you follow the way people use the terms. There's the common speech. And in common speech, these words noladim and yilodim have specific meanings. We look at the Rashi, Uvenedarim halochar achar loshen b'nei adam, the darken shemnei adam likros noladim losin shadayin lo noldu. The way of people is to refer to noladim as a reference to those that have not been born yet. Ve'im nodar min ha-noladim oser bohen. And if he vowed not to benefit from noladim, so he cannot benefit from those that have not yet been born. Not as yet been born. The Ran adds a bit more. What the Ran does is he explains the machlokes Rabbi Meir and the Rabbanon. So if we just get a little taste of the Ran, Uvenedarim haloch achar loshem b'nei ubahachi pligi Rabbi Meir v'Rabbanon. The Rabbanon savri dechihechi shenolodim b'loshen Torah kolel nolodim kvar v'asidim livalei. Just like in the Torah, the word nolodim includes both. Hachanami b'loshen b'nei adam. So too when it comes to common speech. V'hainu dahaji Rabbanon l'meimar b'sefer demasnisin lo niskavin zelo mimi shedarko livalei. V'lodas shlishihu. And as we saw in Rashi as well, this is not a third opinion. The Rosh has a different take on this, though, I want to point out. The Ran goes on, Elo de prushi kamafarshi tamayu. The Rabbanon are explaining themselves. The Amri danodim odim oser bakol v'yovitayim l'milsayu sheliskaven olamishadakli volei bein la'ba bein l'shavar. That in the use of the word no lodim, his intention is to refer to those that are that come into being through birth, whether they've already come into being or they will come into being. The Rabbanon's opinion is that the word no lodim does not have a specific intent. For Meir Savar de Boloshim b'nei Adam lo mikru no lodim elo asil void. Reb Meir disagrees, and he says in common speech, no lodim does have a specific intent, namely those that will be born. Uviludim nami and the word yilodim also. The Travayu Modu both agree regarding yilodim. The muter bosun shasim livoled. Word yilodim implies those that have already been born, thereby enabling the vower to benefit from those that have as yet not yet been born. Tamayu mishum loshon b'nei adam dilu b'loshon Torah. However, when it comes to the Torah use of these words, k'echi damashma noldim kvar yichtiv kol am hayilodim b'midbar. Just like yilodim is mashma, those that have been born already. Hochinami mashma asidim. The word yilodim also has a future connotation. Lasidim volei kirtib kol haben hayilod. So you see the word yilod, when it comes to the Torah, can have a dual understanding as well. Now let's turn back to the Gemara. The second to last line. V'chachomim omrim lo niskavein zeh elo mimi shedarku livolei. The Chachomim in the Mishnah that pointed out that when you vow not to benefit from no lodim, you're including those that have already been born and those that will be born. Those Chachomim are now. We have to go now to the Gemara text. Is lafuke mai, who is not included in the vow according to the Chachomim. After all, the Chachomim said that if you vow not to benefit from no lodim, that includes those that have already been born and those that have not yet been born. They're all usher. So who is not included in that prohibition? Lafuke dogim va'oifos. To the exclusion of fish and birds. Fish and birds reproduction is not described by using the word leidah. Fish and birds, they certainly were familiar with birds, how they develop from eggs, they hatch forth from eggs, and fish reproduction likewise is not referred to by the term leidah. If you notice, the Ran at the bottom says lafuki dogim v'oifos shehem matilim beitzim, they lay eggs, v'lo mitzeru b'mei imon, they are not formed inside their mother's wombs. As far as the fact that there are fish that are live bearers, let us just assume that when it comes to Nedarim, people perceive them as being born forth from eggs. And when it comes to the Lashon of Nedarim, the way people use terms, the way people perceive things is really the determining factor. With that, we conclude our shiur for today.